All right, folks, listen. Years ago, when I came on YouTube for the first time, I told everyone that I was going to break the matrix, okay? And never knowing, never knowing that I'd be at where I'm at here. I was just talking about some other. I was talking about like, they're figuring out their fake news and all that stuff. I really never knew it was going to go down the numerical road to breaking the matrix, just like in the movie The Matrix. And uh and never knowing the my connections with Keanu Reeves. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said, in order for me to find out, the fact that I said that I was going to break the matrix when I came on YouTube in the very beginning, which was somewhere between 2012 and 2015. I can't remember, but I know it was way before Trump, started running for office, because, I told you I've been predicting that something's going to happen in Washington State, okay, and that Trump's going to get his head wound since 2016, right? And I've lost 41 channels, on YouTube. This is my 42nd. I started a 43rd and 44th, but those are just backup channels. But this is my main channel, the 42nd channel, right? And Elvis died at the age of 42, and Washington is the 42nd state because Elvis is the real Antichrist. Trump is the image of the Antichrist. See, they're copying God, because when God was walking the earth as Jesus, God in the flesh, God was still in heaven as the Father. So that's what they're doing. Elvis is playing God in heaven. Trump is playing God in the flesh. That's why Trump's going to get his head wound and resurrect. And um, that's going to happen on August 4th in Ohio. But on June 11th is the biblical Beast Out of the Sea event. Okay? That's the Elvis event in Seattle. I mean, in Washington State, and Seattle's probably they're going to say that that's ground zero or something. But so, like I said, and that biblical Beast Out of the Sea event connects to the head wound, because it says that the beast that rises out of the sea, one of its heads seems to have had a deadly head wound that healed, and the world wondered after the beast. What better beast to get to get the head wound than the beast that compares himself to Trump? I mean, compares himself to Elvis, because that's what Trump does. He's always comparing himself to Elvis. Okay, and of course he's acting like he's God. You know what I mean? Anyway, so the whole thing is about Elvis, okay? And the more important prediction, obviously, is this June 11th event in Washington State, because we need to help people get out of Washington State before it happens, okay? I just didn't know the year. I've made these same predictions now for all these years, but I just didn't know the year. It's exact same predictions every year. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about, just as I was saying, about the Keanu Reeves breaking the matrix. This isn't about Keanu Reeves or me, but I'm trying to lay a foundation for it, that never knowing that Keanu Reeves was born in the same hospital as me 2 days before me. Okay? He was born on September 2nd, 1964. I was born September 4th, 1964. And back then, people would stay in the hospital at the same time. Okay? I mean, for a while. They wouldn't leave in one day, folks. So back then, his mother and him were probably in the same place that they kept the babies who were born, newly born. We probably were right next to each other, me and Keanu. If it's real that he was born in Beirut, Lebanon, which is ridiculous. He has nothing to do with that area. You know what I mean? My family is Armenian, and the Armenians were the first Christians as a nation, as a people, I mean. And what's this guy doing there, What's his mom doing in Beirut, Lebanon? Anyway, so why am I talking about this? Because, the Beirut explosion that happened happened on August 4th. And I was already making predictions that Trump would get his head wound on August 4th. But what they did was, because I told you, both my predictions have to connect to each other. So they did an explosion on August 4th. Okay? They did an explosion on August 4th. And then when Trump got his ear clipped, look what happened on that day. Okay, let me just play this video.
This time,
listen.
It is 6/11, 12 weeks to the minute that the shooting began.
So he went back to Butler, Pennsylvania, after he got his ear clipped, and he plays this.
This time, it is 6/11, 12 weeks to the minute that the shooting began. I would like to ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence.
And he gives you the warning bells. Hell's bells. Four bells. But this is what's important, what he says at the beginning. This is him coming back to the place where he got his ear clipped for the first time. He comes back.
This time, it is 6/11, 12 weeks to the minute that the shooting began.
So 6/11 and then 12 weeks. What is 12 weeks? 84 days. So he went back to Butler, Pennsylvania 84 days after he got his ear clipped. And why is he saying 6/11? Because that was the time. Okay? So 6/11 was the time on the clock, and he went back there 84 days later. So that's 8/4. Now,
it is 6/11.
Why is that important?
12 weeks to the minute.
Because see, they switched.
I would like to ask.
They switched it. So they did an 8/4 explosion, because that's the day I'm telling you Trump gets his head wound, and then they did a 6/11 ear clipping, an attempt on his life. You see what I mean? So because both they have to connect to each other, which I've shown. If you just watch my live streams, I can't show you every piece of information in every video. Okay, so that's why you have to watch all the videos to see the thousands and thousands of pieces of this incredible puzzle. Okay, that they're playing out. You know, it's this long movie that's about to come to an end. Okay, now, so this Beirut explosion that I'm talking about that happened on August 4th, 2020. Okay. Let me just ask Google this real quick that we can hear it. Give me a second. What happened on August 4th, 2020 in Beirut?
On August 4th, 2020, a massive explosion at the Beirut port, caused by improperly stored ammonium nitrate, devastated the city. The blast, one of the largest non-nuclear explosions, killed over 200 people, injured thousands, and left hundreds of thousands homeless, causing widespread destruction.
Yeah, it was the biggest explosion we'd ever seen on television that was real, you know? And, I think, what's funny? Not funny, but 666, when you type it into the gematria thing, it equals 275, and then there's a crown. The letter O is a crown, a portal. But look, 275 is 666. 666 equals 275. But anyway, it was in Beirut. And the time on the clock was between 6/7, 6/8. That's Elvis's numbers. Elvis equals 67, 68, the time on the clock. But it was August 4th, 2020. Now, why is this important? You'll see as I'm about to show you. Okay, let me show you this now. Oh, let me just show you this real quick. Sorry. Give me a second. What is this, man? Look at this. It's a Beirut explosion. Look at this. Look at this thing. That looks like Elvis coming out of there. You see that? Like, is this real? Like, what is this? Like, this is years ago. This was before this, before this AI explosion, of stuff that's coming out now. This was in 2020. that I, showed this. But you see what I'm saying? It's weird, right? And it looks like a snake. Look at that. Oh, you see the snake right here? The head of the snake right there? See the head of the snake? Weird, man. Anyway, so this was the Beirut explosion, right? I don't know where they got that image from, but forget about that. Anyway, so why am I bringing that up? Because let me show you this. Yeah, and remember, I was born there, and so was Keanu Reeves. At the same exact time we were born. He was born 2 days before me, same year, same, hospital. Something is fishy. Do you understand? With this Beirut, okay? And Jesus walked through the area of Beirut, okay? If you ask Google, did Jesus ever walk in the areas of Beirut, Lebanon? They'll tell you yes, and especially Lebanon. That's what I should have said, Lebanon. But anyway, so why am I bringing this up? Because you ever heard of this guy? Okay, this guy's name is Babe Ruth, right? I've done this video years ago, okay, but I have some other stuff to show here. This was on my old channel that I did it. So Babe Ruth, okay, Babe Ruth sounds like Beirut. And Elvis Presley was given the Presidential Medal of Freedom by Trump, which I showed years ago also, okay, back in 2020. That Trump gave Elvis the Presidential Medal of Freedom Award on November 16th, 2018. And on that same day, he gave it to Babe Ruth, okay? Elvis Presley was given to it, and on that same day, these people got it. There were 7 of them given out. Elvis, Babe Ruth, and just look at some of the connections here. Watch this. Elvis Presley, Babe Ruth, like I just said, connects, and I'll tell you how he connects in a moment because that's what this video is about, the connections. Alan Page, look at the initials, AP, that's 116, which is like 611 backwards. And Minnesota, right now, Minnesota's in the news because it's in the Minneapolis is the 612 area code, which is like 216, which is August 4th, the 216th day of the year, which is also the same numbers as June 11th, 162nd day of the year. And Roger Staubach, they play at AT&T Stadium, Dallas. Something about back, get it? And by the way, the word Roger equals first. They play at AT&T Stadium. They have a pentagram on their helmets, those Cowboys, because he played for the Dallas Cowboys. Miriam Adelson, this creature who's a big donor to Trump, her husband is Sheldon Adelson, and he's born on August 4th. Not this person, this is the wife. Sheldon Adelson is born on August 4th. And then you have Scalia, who died unexpectedly. I don't really see anything with him. But, 119, that's 911. Look at that. AS is 119, which is 911. AP, which is 116. Interesting. And then Orrin Hatch is the Ohio initials, because that's where Trump's going to get his head wound. OH, Ohio, right? Now watch this. Guess how old he was? Wait, well, first, he's from Utah. Utah is the 45th state. Trump is the 45th president. And that's where, Utah was where Charlie Kirk got taken out, right? And he's the 45th president, Trump. Utah is the 45th state. And OH is the Ohio initials, right? And guess how old he was when he got his Presidential Medal of Freedom, 84 years old. And then he died 4 years later at 88. Now, do you understand how unbelievable that is? Now, for the people, it's going to get better, the video. Just calm down. I'm just laying a foundation for what I'm about to show here. And this video is going way longer than I thought it was going to go because I started to add stuff. I added that part. I didn't want to go through all that. But think about how crazy that is. So I'm connecting him to Ohio because his initials is OH. And I'm telling everyone that Trump's going to get his head wound on 8-4 and that he's going to open his eyes on 8-8. And this dude, this guy who's connected, OH, Orrin Hatch, he's the congressman, whatever the hell he is, senator. He was 84, and then 4 years later, he died on 8-8. Think about how unbelievable that is. Okay? Let me see if I can get them to say it. How old was Orrin Hatch in 2018?
Orrin Hatch was 84 years old in 2018.
Oh, and he's born on Skull and Bones Day, 3/22.
He then retired from the Senate in January 2019, also at the age of 84.
See, he was 84 years old. How old was Orrin Hatch when he died?
Orrin Hatch was 88 years old when he died in 2022.
You see that? Yeah, I'm sure those are just coincidences, you know. And he died in Utah, the 45th state. You see what I mean? Are you guys getting that so far? Wait, what are you guys talking about in the chat? Who looks like who? I don't know what you guys are saying. Oh, you're saying that Babe Ruth looks like Elvis? Is that what you say? I didn't look at that. No. Is that what you guys are saying? I don't know what you guys are saying in the chat. That's funny. Oh wow, I didn't even cross my mind that. But anyway, let me go back to what I was showing. So you guys got that, right? What I just talked about. Did you guys find that interesting? Before I move on with the good stuff, did you guys find that interesting? Did I explain it okay? Yeah, and his initials is, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway, God bless all of you. Make sure before you leave, you hit that thumbs up button. Anyway, so let me go back to those pictures. Yeah, I never even thought of the picture kind of looking like him. No, that's funny. That is funny. It does kind of look like him. I wouldn't go that far, but anyway. So he got the Presidential Medal of Freedom from Trump. Okay, it's just funny that Babe Ruth which sounds like Beirut. You know what I mean? Okay, and anyway, so now we're gonna hold on. Let me see what I got here. Let me show you the connections with Babe Ruth, okay? That way you understand why I'm bringing him up, okay? Okay? Give me a second here. Oh, you know what? I just want to check one thing. I don't know if I checked that from that date. This might be the one thing that I didn't check. Let me see. 11. I mean, if I didn't check it, I'd be very surprised, but hold on. 1 second. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah. All right, so let me just show this. Man, bad lighting in here, man. I look like a monster right now. Anyway, Babe Ruth sounds like Beirut, right? And that's where I was born. And a lot of, like I said, a lot of stuff has happened over there. You'll see what I'm going to show in a minute. All right. So Babe Ruth sounds like Beirut. And like I just talked to you about the Beirut explosion there. Babe Ruth died on 8/16/48. Okay. He died on 8/16/48 at the age of 53. He died on 8/16/48. And why is that important? Because look, Elvis died on 8/16. So they have the same death date. Elvis and Babe Ruth, which sounds like same death date, but not the same year. But look what happens when you, because see, Elvis died on 8/16/77. Right now, from his last death date anniversary, which was last year on 8/16, because my two predictions happened before his death anniversary this year. So so he's 48 years 48 years dead. Okay? And remember, I showed you that he died in 48, Babe Ruth. Okay? So that's why it connecting to 48, the death date is important. Give me a second here. Stupid. Anyway, so the fact that it's 48 years from 77, you understand? That's important. Okay? His death anniversary of Elvis. Okay? Because Babe Ruth died in 48. And that's why from 48, Babe Ruth to Elvis, his 48-year death anniversary, which was just this past year, is 77 years. Because Elvis died on 8/16/77. And he died on 8/16/48, and it's the 48-year death anniversary. You see what I mean? So that's the key point right there, okay? Now, let's go from Babe Ruth's birth, okay? Like I said, you'll begin to understand where I'm going with this in a moment. So Babe Ruth, his birth date is 2/6/1895. And for the people who know that, I told you that the 9495 is a super important thing to this puzzle because that has to do with my birthday. But anyway, Elvis was born on 1/8. But look, from his birth date to Elvis's death date is 82 years, 6 months, 11 days. Okay? And why is 82 important? Besides 6/11, because that's when Washington State is going to be struck. See, Seattle equals 82. Portal equals 82. And Elvis with the letter O, which is a portal. And portal equals O Elvis. Exact same numbers. Every number is the same between portal and O Elvis, which is the letter O with Elvis. I told you that's a crown, a portal, a head, a face, a ring, a womb, an egg, whatever. But it equals exactly portal. So if you took out this O and you took out this O, it would be Elvis. PRTAL equals Elvis. They equal exactly the same. But Seattle, only this number is the same, the 82. But Portal and O Elvis equal exactly the same. Anyway, the point was that it was 82 years from Babe Ruth's birth to Elvis's death, okay? And of course the 6/11. But anyway, so Babe Ruth's birthday is 206. Because you can put the 0, right? And we're in the year 26. Seattle's area code is 206. See? Babe Ruth's birth, Seattle's area code, 206. And that's Washington State's original area code, 206. That was its first area code in Washington State. And the date 206 is the 37th day of the year. And that's the EL connection, like Elvis. It looks like EL. The 3 and 7 looks like the letters EL upside down. You see what I mean? Or backwards, whatever. And the prime number 26 prime is 101. So you have 26101. See? 2611, 2611. So what I'm saying is it's all about the 611. You see? 611. And if you went from his birthday to 6/11, it's 126 days, which is the same numbers as August 4th is the 216th day of the year. June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. Just the same numbers in there from 2/6 to 6/11. And the 26 prime is 101. It's the same numbers, 2/6, 1/1. You see what I mean? And like I showed earlier, from Babe Ruth's birthday to Elvis's birthday, and I mean Elvis's death day and Babe Ruth's death day. Babe Ruth's birthday to Elvis's death day, or Babe Ruth's death day, because they have the same death day, is 6 months, 11 days. You see the 6/11 connection? You know? And I told you the same year Elvis died, you had a horse called Seattle Slew that won the Triple Crown. I've been talking about this, like I said, for years. That Seattle Slew won the Triple Crown. And I was addicted to horse racing. That was I'm an addicted gambler, not anymore, but I'm saying at the time. And this horse, slew, means to violently kill. It's the past tense of the word slay. So the same year Elvis died, you had a horse called Seattle Slew win the Triple Crown, the most prestigious thing a horse can do. And the reason I'm bringing that up, 6/11/77, is because if you went from the last birthday, his last birthday before he died, because he died on August 16th, 1948, Babe Ruth, from Babe Ruth's last birthday, it was on 2/06/48 to the day that Elvis turned 48 years dead. And also that would be Babe Ruth's 77-year death anniversary. From that year, it would be 77 years. But from his birthday, it's 77 years, 6 months, 11 days. You see that? 6/11/77. See what I mean? Okay. And I was that we're talking about Washington State being struck. His real name is George Herman Ruth. This dude. Okay. Now, so did we all get that? There's no confusion there, was there? And of course, when I was younger, there was a candy bar called Baby Ruth. There was a candy bar called Baby Ruth. I remember that. And I never really liked that candy bar. I mean, it was okay. But, yeah, I have more to show. I just wanted to start with that. Now we have to show something else. All right. So, still talking about Beirut here, okay? Because obviously there's an important thing to this. In Beirut, look at this. What does Beirut have to do with a dragon being slayed? Listen.
Beirut is connected to the legend of St. George because local tradition says the dragon slaying occurred there, in what is now St. George Bay. People believe a spring and cave in the bay were the dragon's home, and the saint cleaned his weapons there, making Beirut an important place in this story.
So they're saying that St. George, are you understanding how ridiculous this is? St. George, they call him the Beirut port. They call it Beirut port, the port of Beirut. It's called St. George Bay also because St. George supposedly slayed a dragon. That's why I have the dragon as the thumbnail. So he slayed a dragon, St. George. Get it? Unbelievable. And so whatever, man. I don't know what that's about, but anyway. So back to this. Give me a second here. Oh, before I move on, just real quick. Oh man, I think I forgot to watch this. Hold on. I wonder. Yeah, look at this. I got to rewrite it. I just found something. So that day that Elvis got the Presidential Medal of Freedom from Trump, look at this. I have to write it nice, that way you can see it. Sorry, folks, I forgot to do this. Look. So the day that he got the Presidential Medal of Freedom was 11/16/2018. Elvis in Beirut from Trump. If you add up the prime numbers for those days, for those numbers, 11/16/2018 is 216. It equals 216. That's August 4th. And I told you 162 is June 11th, the 162nd day of the year. August 4th is the 216th day of the year. You see that? And guess what? This year, June 11th, its prime numbers, 6, 11, 20, and 26, the prime numbers add up to 216. So it's even that connects, okay? So that's a big deal that it was 216, okay? And Elvis Aaron Presley equals 216, which I've shown a million times on this channel. And of course, 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. And that's the day Trump gets his head wound, And Obama was born on August 4th. That's why he was the president before Trump. Okay? Now let's go. Let's move on here. So in 1983, okay, there was a bombing on 10/23, 1983. It was 2 truck bombs. Interesting that it's 2, because Elvis had an identical twin that died at birth, right? That's why the Twin Towers came down. Okay, it was all for Elvis, right? 2 truck bombs were detonated in buildings in Beirut, Lebanon. And what happened that day? Look at this. Guess what battalion was affected the most? The most of them that were there were from the 1st Battalion, 8th Marines. Okay, and why is that important? Because Elvis was born on 1/8. You see that? So you're telling me that the Beirut bombing, and look at the name. It's called barracks, like Barack, and Barack was born on August 4th, right? We're talking about August 4th, and the Beirut explosion happened on August 4th. Are you understanding? Barracks, Barack, right? Beirut barracks bombing, and it was on 1/8. It was on. It was the 1st Battalion, 8th Marines that got affected. Okay, it was the biggest death toll of Marines in a bombing. I guess in that area or whatever, by Marines or something. So 1/8 is Elvis's birthday, and it's barracks bombing, right? And here's this his Beirut Battalion. See, the Beirut Battalion that got hurt, they're from this area called. Look at that. You see that up there? 1/8 Battalion is from Lejeune. EL and like the word June. See it? EL, like Elvis, and then June, because that's when the big Washington State event's going to happen on 6/11, right? And do you know that there was a lawsuit at Camp Lejeune, which is where that is, the where that battalion got. But you understand, Camp Lejeune is where they were stationed, the ones that died in Beirut, and guess what? They had a water contamination at this Lejeune. Why is this important? The water, because water, water. See the word water? It equals water equals exactly the same as Elvis. You see the numbers? 67, 68, 22, 32. See, it's exactly the same. Water equals Elvis, and Elvis equals reset. Same thing. How did God reset the earth? With water. So water and reset equal Elvis. Okay? And there was a contamination of water. You know what I mean? That happened. Okay? Now let me show that. Let me show the numbers on that real quick. On that. Oh, what am I doing? I forgot to show. Sorry. I still have some more to show about the Presidential Medal of Freedom thing. Sorry about that. Just let me finish that first, and then I'll get back to the Beirut stuff. Hold on. So I told you that Elvis and Babe Ruth got it on the same day, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, right? 11/16/2018. And so I showed you all the connections earlier with Babe Ruth and Elvis. From Elvis's death date to the day they got the medals, it's 15,067 or 68. I just showed you Elvis equals 67, 68. And I told you the letter O is like a portal or a crown. The 15th letter of the alphabet is O. So you have 15, which is O, and then you have Elvis, 67, 68. So that means it's like a portal, get it? Elvis with the O. O Elvis equaled portal. And the 15 is the O. The O is the 15th letter. Now, look at this. From Trump's inauguration, the first time, not the down in a minute. You know what it is? I was rushing to do a few things here. Trump first day in office. So from Trump's first day in office, the first time back in 2017, to the day that Trump gave out the Medal of Freedom to Elvis and Babe Ruth is 666 days. You know? And I didn't even discover this one. One of the viewers gave this to me. Yeah. But anyway, so see that? That's a great connection right there. See it? And that was Trump's first day in office, you know. And Babe Ruth, his birthday to 11/16, the medal day that Elvis and Babe Ruth got the medal, is 9 months, 11 days. You see that? 9 months, 11 days. Oh, I'm sure that's a coincidence. You know what I mean? Sure. And from the day they got the medal, Elvis and Trump, Trump gave Elvis and Babe Ruth the medal, to the Beirut explosion, the biggest explosion we've ever seen. Look at this. It was 628 days, and one of the equations was 20 months or 20 days. Okay? I think it was 1 year, 6 months. 1 year and some 1 year 9 months, 10 months, who cares? It doesn't matter. The point is, I'm using this 20 months, 20 days. So it was 628 days in between 20 months, 20 days. And you know who's born on 628? That stupid Elon Musk. Look at this. In between Elvis's birthday and August 4th is 6 months, 28 days. So look, watch this. So in between the medal to the Beirut explosion is 628 days. From Elvis's birthday to August 4th is 6 months, 28 days. And then you have a 2020, and it happened in 2020. And I just showed you the 8-4 connection. From Elvis's birthday to 8-4 is 6 months, 28 days. I mean, yeah, see, to 8-4. This is to 8-4. From the medal is 628 days, 20 months, 20 days. 2020 on the military time, the hands are on the 8 and the 4. So do you see that? So 2020 connects to the 2020. The 8-4, the hands are on the 2020, right? It's 2020, the hands are on the 8 and the 4. And the 628 days from Elvis's birthday to 8-4 is 628 days. And remember, the Presidential Medal of Freedom Day, the prime numbers added up to 216, which is August 4th, the 216th day of the year. And Elvis equals 216, you know? Did you guys understand that? Was that too convoluted? If anyone's not understanding that, please tell me. I just want to see how convoluted this info is. So anyway, back to the barracks bombing. Barracks, get it? The barracks. Barack is born on August 4th. Okay, now watch this. So it just so happens, listen, look at the year that it happened. Watch. This, what year was the Beirut bombing that killed the 1st Battalion, 8th Marines?
The Beirut bombing that killed members of the 1st Battalion, 8th Marines happened in 1983 on
1983,
October 23rd.
okay? Now, why is 1983 so important? It is the only year in all of the 1900s. It's the only year in all of the 1900s that equals 216 when written out. So the only year, because I went through every single year, 1983, when written out, is the only year that equals 216. Do you understand how impossible this is? So we're talking about the barracks bombing. Barack's born on the 216th day of the year. Elvis Aaron Presley equals 216. 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. Trump's going to get his head wound on the 216th day of the year, August 4th. Do you understand? And Trump's going to get his head wound in Ohio. I'm saying in Ohio, but Cleveland, the Cleveland area code is 216. Columbus area code is 614 in Ohio. And Trump's born on 614. So, and even the zip codes connect to him. The area codes in Ohio. Ohio is where Trump's going to get his head wound. And I said that before I ever knew the codes about Ohio. Okay, Ohio, I told you, it came supernaturally. Anyway, so 1983, the year that this Beirut bombing happened, the barracks, 1st Battalion, 8th Marine, Elvis is born on 1/8, right? Hold on. When was Elvis born? 1/8, January 8th. You saying?
Elvis Presley.
Okay, so now let's keep going. So from the day that this Beirut bombing happened, this barracks bombing, the Barack bombing, 10/23/1983, to 6/11 this year is 42 years and a bunch of days and months. Elvis died at the age of 42. Washington's the 42nd state, but this is what's important, the days. 15573. I told you the 73 is the EL. It looks like the letters EL, which means God in Hebrew. And what's the 155? 155 is from Elvis's birthday to 6/11. When you add the day, it's 155 days. So from Elvis's birthday to 6/11, adding that day is 155 days. And 155 is the first number when written out that to equal 216. So 6/11 connects to the August 4th, which I told you it has to. See, the other equation I showed you was the first time in a years that it was. This equation, 1983 is the only year in the 1900s that equals 216. This is the first number when written out to equal 216, 155. So if you went every number before that, it wouldn't add up to 216. Okay? Now, so let's, what else can we go? Oh, yeah, and Trump's birthday, 6/14, 6 times 14 is 84. Yes, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, and so yeah, Trump, he's born on 6/14, 6 times 14 is 84. All right. Yeah, that's why I appreciate people talking about what they see in the video. That way, you know, you guys can pay attention. You can correct me when I forget something. Anyway, Barack Obama was born August 4th, 1961. From his birthday to the Beirut bombing, the Barack's bombing, get it? Look at this. It's 22 years, 2 months, 20 days. You have all these twos, right? And look, Elvis was born on 1/8. He died on 8/16, and 6/11 is the date I'm always telling you about. So it's got the same numbers in there on the days. 1/8 he was born, 8/16 he died, and 6/11. You see that? All right. So that's one connection. You see what I mean? 1/8, 8/16. Elvis born, Elvis died. Same numbers as that. And look at this. From Elvis's death day, the exact day he died, to the exact day the Beirut explosion happened. I mean, the Beirut barracks bombing happened, where the 1/8 battalion, the 1st Battalion, 8th Marine, 1/8, get it? Elvis's birthday. Those are the ones who died, the Marines. It's 2260. Look at that. 2026 connection. 226 with a crown, or 2026. And look, it's 6 years, 2 months, 8 days. You remember I was just telling you about the 628. Where is that stupid thing? What did I do with it? Didn't I just mention the 628? Where is that? Uh-oh. Yeah, I just mentioned that. See, look. Remember? 628 days. And then from Elvis's birthday to August 4th is 6 months, 28 days. So you have 6 years, 2 months, 8 days. Look at that. There's that connection again, you know. Interesting, you know. All right, so let's move on from this. Give me a second here. Let me see what this says. Oh, okay, now I got to show the next thing. Give me a second here. Man, this is so confusing, all this stuff, man. Yeah, all right. Anyway, let's keep going here. So remember, I told you they were calling it the twin bombing because there was 2 trucks involved, right? But do you know that year there was two bombings in Beirut that year? See, I told you 1983, I told you equaled 216, remember? 1983, there was a second bombing. The U.S. Embassy bombing in Beirut happened on 4/18, where a bunch of Americans were killed also, 17 Americans. Okay? And hold on, my hands are all numb. I couldn't even hold the phone. Hold on one second. I had to switch hands for a second. Oh, man. So the U.S. bombing happened in the U.S. Embassy bombing in Beirut happened too. Okay? That same year on April 18th. Look at this. Oh, hold on. Let me finish. Yeah, this is done. Yeah. So there was two of them. Look at this. Yeah, that's what I'm about to show. Just hold on. So you know the word twin equals 66, right? Oh, yeah, I forgot to show it. Sorry. I thought I had it here. Where is it? Let me see. Hold on one second. Oh, yeah, I have it. It's coming up. Hold on. So the word twin equals 66, okay? And remember, there was two bombings that year, okay? Now watch this. See, again, are these coincidences? So in 1983, you had two bombings, the U.S. Embassy and the barracks. One was on 4/18, the other was 10/23. Look at that. 6 months, 6 days in between when you add the day. Look at that. The word twin equals 66. And remember, it was 66 years after Elvis's birth that the Twin Towers came down. Because Elvis had an identical twin that died at birth, right? So you're telling me that in between these two bombings was 6 months, 6 days? Come on, man. And guess what day 4/18 is? 4/18 is the 108th day of the year, and Elvis is born on 1/8. Look at that. So 1/8, 1/8, and I mean, if you add that up, what day it is of the year, the 108th day of the year, I told you Elvis was born on 1/8, and this is the 296th day of the year, adds up to 404. Look at that. If you saw my video from yesterday, the 404 connections, you see that? I'm sure that's just a coincidence, right? You know? Yeah, the error code, right? You guys got to watch my last video. I made one mistake in that video, and I'm going to tell you what the mistake was, for the people who haven't seen it yet. In that last video. It didn't affect the video at all, but it's still, I don't like making mistakes. But anyway, yeah, so from Elvis's birthday to 9/11 was 66 years, 8 months, 4 days. And you have the 8/4 connection in there, but it's 66, which is the twin. And the Twin Towers came down, you know what I mean? Yeah, you guys are making good comments, yep. And then look at this. Remember, we're talking about twin bombings, right? In the Twin Towers. I just told you 66 years. And in between the two bombings that year was 6 months, 6 days. And Elvis had an identical twin. And I'm connecting it to 9/11. Look at this. Watch this. From that day, 4/18, 1983, to the day the towers collapsed, it's 6,722 days. That's Elvis. Elvis equals 6722. You see that? To 9/11. I'm sure that's just a coincidence. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just a coincidence. Yeah. All right, so there's anyway, let me just finish this. This is the last thing here. We're pretty much done here. So interesting that from Babe Ruth's birth to Trump's head wound this year is, look at that, it's 48,002. Well, I'm trying to say it differently. 48,026 days or 27 days, and there was two of them born. Elvis equals 67 and Jesse equals 67. So you have 6-7 with two. But anyway, so Trump's going to get his head on 8-4-26. Look, 8-4-26. See? 8-4-26, 8-4-26. And Elvis has been dead 48 years. Okay? And Babe Ruth died in 48. You see what I mean? So there's some connection there. So when you add the day, it's 27 days. When you don't add the day, it's 26. And we're in between 26 and 27 the year. So that's, it connects that one. Okay? Now, you know that Washington equals 130, and the attack date's going to be 6/11, that Washington gets struck. So 130 and 6/11. Look at this. From Babe Ruth's birth to Elvis's death anniversary, the 48 year, because my two predictions are going to happen before his next death anniversary. So that's why you have to count this one. It's from this one. It's 130 years, 6 months, 11 days. See that? You get what I'm saying? Washington equals 130. Attack date is 6/11. And 206 area code. 206 area code is Seattle. And Washington's original, the first area code was Washington State. It was 206. And now it's the Seattle area code. But look, and of course, Babe Ruth died on this day. That was his death anniversary too, 130th. You understand? It's Elvis's 48th. It's Babe Ruth's 130th. Okay? Do you see what I'm saying? And what is 130 plus 48? That's 178. And what is 178? What is 178? That is the word EL. EL equals 17 and reduced 8. 178. You know what I mean? But really, it's Washington equals 130 plus 6/11. Listen, it's confusing. I know, it's a lot of info, but it is what it is. I can't. Give me a second here. Oh, and listen to this. I told you I was born in Beirut, right? And and I told you the numbers 162 is June 11th, and 216, 216, whatever, is August 4th. 216 is August 4th. June 11th is the 162nd day of the year, right? Look, this is look at that. From Babe Ruth's death to my birthday, because I was born in Beirut. Look at that. 16 years and 20 days exactly. Can you believe this? And for the people who know my videos, you know how important these numbers are, man. Elvis was born in the 20th state, died in the 16th state. I could go on and on with these connections. I was just saying that was interesting, Anyway. So that's it, folks. Anything you guys want to say before I end the chat? Yeah, I'm not going to show all the 16, 20, 2016 connections. You got to watch my other live streams. Go watch all my live streams. But I want to show one correction. In the last video, on the live video, which I don't even know if I'm going to keep it up, but for right now, I'm going to leave it up there. I made one mistake. Let me show you the mistake. That way, when you watch it, you'll understand. So what I did was, you're going to see these numbers here, okay, connecting to this date, which is correct. But I put, instead of putting George Washington's death date, which is correct right here. This is the correct thing that I was supposed to write. I wrote Washington State's founding date instead of George Washington's death date. And that's why you see these numbers. So when you see the Washington state founding date, which is at the 42-minute, 34-second mark of that last video, it's supposed to say from George Washington's death date to the Space Needle opening, not from Washington State's founding date. It's because I wrote the wrong date, because I wrote Washington State's founding date instead. So, but the equation is correct. I just didn't put the right date. I didn't put the right date, and I didn't put Washington. You know what I mean? I used the wrong Washington connection. All right. Anyway, well, the point I was trying to make was that June 11th is the 162nd day of the year, and Elvis has been dead for 48 years. You know what I mean? And you have the 8-4 connection, and you have June 11th, 162. Okay. All right. Anyway, any last questions? Anything you guys want to talk about before I end this video? Stupid phone is glitching. Anything you guys want to talk about? I'll stay on another like 5-10 minutes. Yeah, you guys made some good comments, man. I'm trying to think if there's anything I missed here. No, that's pretty much it. I have so many videos to do, folks. That's why I'm trying to get all of this stuff out. You know, that way I can get to the important videos. I just need to put this out there. That way the information is out there for the people to see all these connections, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna do another Super Bowl video, absolutely. For the people who don't know, I picked Seattle from before the season started, you know. Yeah, yeah, you're welcome. Anyway, I picked Seattle before and by the way, all these other years I never picked Seattle because the numbers didn't match. But this particular year, the numbers matched perfectly, and that's why I said that Seattle would most likely win it, but I gave a second choice, which was the 49ers, and Seattle just beat the 49ers. And then my third choice was Denver, you know, but who knows what's going to happen with that. But what I'm saying is I still believe that Seattle is going to win, but they don't have to. You know, when it comes to predictive programming, you never know, you know. It's just the fact that everything pointed to Seattle being there this year because of the fact that it's at Levi's Stadium, you know, the Elvis connection and stuff. Everything, I've already talked about all this stuff in my videos. You know, you just got to watch them. It's under the live section of this channel. Yeah, I heard that J.D. Vance is having a supposed another baby. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. We'll see. Yeah, it sounds about right. I don't want to even get into that, but yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, I see what you're saying about Elvis. Yeah. But anyway, I'm trying to think. Was there anything? Let me just see what's in the news real quick before we end this video. Anyway, can you video? Hey, look, there's 68 of you in the chat. How is it that you guys don't thumb up the video? Just go and thumb up the video and come back. 68 people, man. Unbelievable. Make sure you comment under the video too. When you leave. Comment under the video and thumb it up. Hold on. Breaking news. Yeah, they're really causing chaos right now, man. And I told you guys that you'd see a lot of green in the news. And now Green Day is supposedly the, besides all the Greenland stuff and green, the Green Day is playing in the Super Bowl before uh, before the game starts. Green Day is going to be playing. And then you have that Bad Bunny. I don't even want to say anything. Um, and that dude, what's funny is, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but it would be incredible if one of the guest stars would either be, because we were thinking maybe it might be Taylor Swift, but wouldn't it be incredible if it was Elvis Crespo, his name is. Because, Bad Bunny is a Puerto Rican. And Elvis Crespo.
Yes, Batty from Puerto Rico, which is a key part of his identity. He embraced.
Elvis Crespo, is he Puerto Rican?
Yes, El Crespo is a well-known Puerto Rican merengue singer. He is famous for songs like Suavemente, and although born in New York.
Suavemente. That's one of the most famous songs to all these Spanish people. They go berserk when they hear it. So imagine if they bring him out and he's singing that, and his name is Elvis Crespo. You see the Elvis connection with Levi Stadium, Levi's is Elvis. Yeah, Green Day's playing in the pre-show, yeah. I don't know who that is. What are you talking about? Yeah. Oh, Bad Bunny's born in 1983? Yeah. Is that right? I know I've talked about him already in one of my videos. When was Bad Bunny born? I think he was born in 310, right?
Bad Bunny was born on March 10th, 1994.
Well, he was born in 1994. You're talking about Elvis Crespo. What are you talking about? 83. He was born in 94, it says. Oh, he equals 83. Well, I got the date right, 310. Oh, he's born in my birthday thing, 9/4, the year. But anyway, all right, folks. I don't want to waste any more time with this. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, go to the live section of this channel. That's where all my videos are. And before you go, I'm going to end this video. Thumb up the video and comment under the video. Okay? Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that. All right. Anyway, God bless all of you. Jesus is God. End of video.